We have triple digits. That's that, but Shay loves it there.
Yeah. Okay, I like it. And
Ready?
that's just pretty cool. I like it.
Okay, the time is now 7:07, and I would like to call the Beloit City Council meeting to order at this time. Item 1, roll call.
There are 6 counselors present. Counselor Duncan is absent.
Item 2, pledge of allegiance. May we all stand? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 3, special orders of the day announcements. There are none. Item 4, public hearings. None. Item 5, public comments. We've reached a point on the agenda where citizens may come forward to speak on items on the agenda or not on the agenda. We ask you to limit your comments to 3 minutes. I will not cut you off, but I do give you a friendly reminder. We ask you to refrain from any personal attacks from council or staff. If we seem to go down that road, I would ask you to sit down immediately after that. I do have one individual that completed a form. No form is necessary, but we ask when you come to the podium that you give your name and address for the record. Anyone wishing to speak under public comments this evening?
Ernest Calvin, 2419 Prairie Avenue, Beloit, Wisconsin.
Good evening.
And I'm coming for, same as always, the raised median between Virginia and Murphy Woods. This time I've got everything written out. My thoughts are all on paper, so we're good. Okay. So let's get it going. The raised median between Virginia and Murphy Woods on Prairie Avenue is the issue because the plan is to remove the two-way left turn lane, which allows me to get into my driveway, replace it with a median, and make me a right turn type of guy. Everything is right. Right in the house, right out of the house, just constantly right. Okay, after receiving the letter stating the reason the two-way left turn lane will be removed and replaced with the raised median, stating because of no future development, and stating safety without identifying specific issue by the city of Beloit, I am here again. All of the residents have stated publicly or in writing at meetings or before the council of their disapproval. Everybody except for Charlie. You guys have never met Charlie because Charlie's wife has recently passed and you really don't have time. He's got other problems besides this. Okay, this body is doing what no other previous council has done as far as I know. Okay? Every resident from Delavan Drive in Jamesville to Grand Avenue in Beloit, whether you call it Prairie, Wisconsin, whatever you call it, every resident has the ability to exit or enter their property from both directions. Everyone. Okay, and I could go past Delavan, but that's good enough just to go to Delavan to get an idea of what's going on. Even the new construction, the new house built right up across from Dollar General, when Rock County did that road, they left an opening for that guy to go in and out. Okay, we are now forced to draw our own conclusion as to why, based on the effects of the council decision, okay? And the first effect is the state of Wisconsin does not have a sales tax on gasoline, but it has an excise tax of 30.9 cents per gallon of gasoline. By forcing us to drive past and around our residents, you are in fact imposing a tax on us, which will generate revenue for the state. And this will be effective because we're going to have to burn more gas to get home. Okay, and currently, this is the second one that gets me and whether you call it tax or not, in effect, it actually is. Okay, the second one is currently we drive, I go approximately 150 yards to my polling place, okay? Because of the council decisions, I'm now forced to drive a quarter mile or more to get to my polling place. I looked at the definition of voter suppression. Voter suppression is a strategy used to discourage or prevent a group of people from voting. Yeah. Although the two results are subtle, I have no doubt they will be effective. I propose that the council revisit the raised median between Virginia and Murphy Woods Road on Prairie Avenue because of the long-term effect of the wedge the council is placing between itself and the voters of Beloit. As Martin Luther King stated, and I stated this last time I was here, it is never too late to do the right thing. Okay? Voter suppression, taxation are not issues that draw people closer. And if it is not your intent, please reconsider and do not remove the two-way left turn lane, which allows me the ability to come out of my driveway without going toward Janesville. I think when I was here last time, I asked the council if they would be so kind as to just go out of your house, leave your driveway and go to the right, enter from the route, do everything from the right, do it yourself. It's like my Uncle Milt was part of the Police and Fire Commission years ago, and one of the things he used to do periodically on the weekends, because he was on that commission, he would actually ride with policemen so he could see what they were doing and what the effects of them is. It's easy to sit back and say, but it's a lot better when you step in the other person's shoes and get a chance to see exactly what they're going through. Okay? That's me. All right.
Thank you. We do have an individual that completed a form, Anita Williams. Please come forward and state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. I'm Anita Williams, 911 Bushnell in Beloit. I am speaking this evening again on Agenda Item 8B, the rezoning proposed from C1 to PLI for the property at 916 Bushnell Street, Rock County Christian School. The petitioners have made very clear to planning staff that there is no longer a need for this rezoning. The project that they were contemplating, they have abandoned at this time. If there is no need for the rezoning, I urge you not to grant it. There is a need on the part of the neighborhood, on the part of myself and the neighbors who are here with me this evening, for the assurance that our homes will not be devalued by future actions which could result from a rezoning. Please leave the zoning as it is. Don't move it to the table. And if it's moved to the table, vote no. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak under public comments this evening, please step forward and state your name and address for the record. Third and final call, anyone else wishing to speak on public comments this evening? Seeing none, I will close that portion of the agenda and move to item 6, consent agenda, please.
All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered at this point on the agenda.
Right now, the consent agenda consists of items 6A through 6D. Is there anyone like anything removed from the consent agenda? Anyone like anything removed from the consent agenda? Seeing, Councilor Blakely?
No, sir.
Okay. Seeing none, the consent agenda is from item 6A through 6D. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion by Blakely. Is there a second? Second by Presho. Questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor of approval of the consent agenda, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 6-0. Item 7, licenses. 7A, please.
Consider of a resolution 2019-020 for the approval denial of 2017-2019 applicants for an alcohol beverage operator's bartender's license. This is for the period February 12th through the 26th, 2019. You have before you two applications being recommended for approval, one recommendation being recommended for denial, and that time frame to appeal that denial has passed.
Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Jacobson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Blakely. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of approval say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 6-0. Item 8, ordinances, please. 8A, please.
Consideration of ordinance number 3637, amending the zoning district map for temporary R1A to permanent R1A for the property located at 2032 East Ridge Road.
Ms. Christensen.
This property was attached to the city to get sewer service last year. At that time, it was assigned a temporary zoning of R1A. We have initiated the rezoning to permanent R1A, and you held a public hearing at your last meeting, and it is on your agenda for action this evening.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Jacobson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Presho. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of approval say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 6-0. 8B, please.
Consideration of ordinance number 3639, amending the zoning district map from C1 to PLI for the property located at 916 Bushnell Street.
Ms. Christensen.
This property is currently the site of Rock County Christian School. The purpose of the zoning map amendment request is to change the zoning to a more compatible district with the current use. City Council did request information on the permitted and conditional uses in the C1 and PLI districts. The information is included on the following pages. The comprehensive plan does recommend office. The applicant does not need to apply for a comprehensive plan amendment, as the plan indicates that institutional uses may be located in areas planned for residential, commercial, office, industrial, mixed, or traditional neighborhood uses. One of the counselors asked for the history on the property. This property has had some form of commercial zoning since 1968. Prior to 1999, it was on B1 restricted office. In 99, all the zoning designations were modified. So we got rid of Bs, we got rid of Is, and so all the Bs became Cs. So it is now C1 office. And in terms of the land use itself, the assessor's office indicated the property has been tax exempt since the 40s.
Since the what, the 40s?
1940s.
Okay, I thought the school had been there longer, the original school.
There was a school, there was a school, a church, and then a school,
Well,
essentially.
and then, yes.
St. Thomas Catholic
No,
School.
it's Strong School was before
Strong
that.
School was
Yeah, and
before
there's another
that.
school,
Yeah.
so,
But that was before we did things like zoning, probably.
yeah.
We're gonna allow her to finish the staff report,
Okay.
please.
Planning Commission reviewed this item a couple of times, and at the end of the day, they voted 4-1 to recommend approval of this zoning map amendment. And you held the public hearing at your last meeting, and this is on your agenda for action this evening.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Jacobson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Anderson. Any questions, comments, or discussion? Counselor Anderson or Counselor Blakely?
Oh, okay. I just wanted to say that the current C1 zoning district is appropriate for the current use of the property. So that's where I stand on it.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you. Any other discussion? Counselor Forback?
Yes. I did want to address the people who are here, and this has been a lot of information and thinking about this. But we have to have a specific reason not to okay the change in zoning. And when I am taking a look with all the knowledge that we care about our neighborhood, especially there, the historical neighborhood, and how well you are doing with your houses and the partnership that we have there, the continued use of a C1 for that property is actually potentially more dangerous for a residential area than changing it to the PLI. So I am changing my mind on this, and I am going to vote to change it to the PLI.
Counselor Anderson?
I was just going to echo what Nancy said. I agree that at first I had some issues and questions, but upon looking at what could happen if Rock County Christian was to leave that location, I think we're looking long-term here and making sure that this is zoned PLI so that there are certain uses for it and that would be more appropriate. And the risks of changing it or not changing it right now could be problematic long-term. So I'm just looking ahead right now. So that's all I had to say.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, there is a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor of approval of the ordinance signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing one opposed, it passes 5-1. 8C, please.
Consideration of ordinance number 3643 to create, to amend, and to repeal and recreate various sections of Chapter 31 of the Code of General Ordinances of the City of Beloit pertaining to alcohol licensing requirements.
Attorney Krieger.
Good evening. Over the last 2 years, we've been working towards revamping the process for operators' licenses that are issued in the city. As you are well aware, we've had a number of hearings and a number of different changes that we experienced last year when we were doing the bulk of the renewals. So what we've done is make sure that the ordinance does address the changes that have occurred in state law. We've also addressed the changes that have occurred to make sure that the city council is the one that's making the decision on the approvals and denials versus having that be an administrative process, which is required to have the governing body make those decisions under state law. We have then called out a special section for the operator's licenses. The PD will be making a recommendation as to approval or denial of those licenses. The applicant will be given 10 days from the date of the denial recommendation from the PD to appeal that to you for a hearing that would be heard separately from your normal license approvals and denials, similar to what was on the agenda tonight, would just be approvals or denials that have not been appealed. If there is an appeal from a denial, then you will have a separate hearing regarding that. And then just a couple of other tweaks just to make sure we were up to date on some language. So with that, I'll certainly entertain any questions if you have any.
I do have.
Sorry.
Can I get a motion to lay it over to our next meeting? Motion by Anderson, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Forbeck. Questions, comments, or discussion?
Well, I'm just wondering, I'm assuming that what we're doing is we are putting our house in order and really putting in writing the things that we have been following this last year.
That's correct. We've revamped the process to make sure we're following state law. We did have that workshop last fall that talked about the parameters, about what you'd like to see for the licensing. We've updated the application to be consistent with the parameters that we discussed at that workshop, which essentially is if you have one violation within the last 3 years that's substantially related to the license activity, or 2 violations in 5 years that substantially relates to the license activity, that probably the recommendation would be for denial, but ultimately that would be up to the city council to determine. And then also just a reminder, if you do have a felony that's substantially related to the sale of or the license activity, that will result in a denial absent a condition or absent a pardon from the governor.
Okay.
Questions or comments? There is a motion and a second to lay this over. All those in favor of laying this over, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 6-0. Item 9, appointments. There aren't. Item 10, council activities and upcoming events. Councilor Forbeck.
Well, just had a lot of fun going to wonderful movies. And I wanted to really, again, comment on the excellence of Biff. And was able to take a couple grandsons to the children's shorts. So it was really wonderful, and I can't say enough about this quality event that we're having in Beloit.
Councilor Preschel.
I'll try to be brief. I won't talk about any bridges, but I will mention that the Beloit Janesville Symphony Orchestra has a youth outreach concert coming up on March 22nd. It's Thursday at the Janesville Performing Arts Center. There will be a matinee performance for school kids, and we've been given a sponsorship has purchased 50 tickets, is it, for children to attend, so we're hoping to reach out to some kids that might not normally get a chance to go up there to find a way to get them to this. This is at the JPAC in Janesville, and it's an afternoon matinee concert performance, and then in the evening there's the regular full orchestra performance then too. So it's an opportunity, it's an attempt at outreach. We discovered in doing this that there's a lack of free time available in our school system this spring because of snow and cold. So they don't have days, they have so many days to make up, they can't take a few hours out to go to a concert or to commiserate with the orchestra. So that was kind of a disappointment on our point. But that's coming up March 22nd. So, and I too attended a BIF event that was amazing, and those guys do a heck of a job. It's amazing to see and it's fun to see the people coming from out of town to Beloit. It's just I always get a kick out of that. It's one of the things I miss about where I used to work. The reaction people have to this city, and I don't think enough of our local residents understand the kind of impact it has and the kind of perception it gets and its stuff. It's really cool to see. So, thank you.
Councilor Jacobson.
I just wanted to mention that Meals on Wheels has events, I guess, every day this month, fundraisers around the city, and you can find out more information on at their website, beloitmealsonwheels.org, or on their Facebook page.
Counselor Anderson.
First off, I just wanted to say good luck. We have 2 hockey teams going to the state tournament from Beloit. The Pee Wee B hockey team is going to state, and then also the ladies on the Rock County Fury hockey team will be going, so good luck to them. The last thing, I will share an experience I had this weekend. It was for a good cause. Yeah, not on me, no. It was for a good cause. It was through the Yellow Brick Road Foundation. I participated in a drag show. Next year, Kevin Levy will be participating.
Yeah, hold your breath on that one.
It was for Rock County Pride Fest, so that they could have it and be free admission. So it was worth my time. It was a good time, and everybody who saw me and usually sees me looking like this took a lot of pictures and had a couple good laughs. So that was good. I read a poem about domestic violence, which is very common in the LGBT community. It's called "I Got Flowers Today." It's by Paulette Kelly. It shakes it, so I'm not going to share it. But if you feel like you want to read it, please do. It's a good poem. But that's what I did, and we look forward to having Kevin participate with me next year.
Keep looking. Counselor Blakely.
What was the name of that poem and poet again?
I Got Flowers Today.
By I Got Flowers Today.
Paulette Kelly.
Okay, thank you. I didn't get to see the show, but I'd like to read that poem. It is for a good cause,
Yes.
as Clinton said. Well, I'd like to say hello to Regina at home, lying flat on her back with a hot water bottle, a nice cup of tea maybe, plenty of cough syrup, and this very wonderful gathering here. We hope you're feeling better soon. We miss you. There's seasonal hiring going on here at the city. So, and we need lots of people for those jobs, for those summer jobs. So please go to our website, take a look at what's available, and consider applying. Now's the time. Winter is almost over. It'll be over in a couple days. So think about seasonal jobs coming up. Last week, I got to attend the GBEDC Business Education Partnership Committee. I just sat in on it. Andrew Yankee is a very active member of that. I was very well impressed with all the work that's going on among area educators and our business community to link up students with the education they'll need to be able to step into worthwhile and good paying jobs after they finish school. So I was glad to be part of that.
Thank you. And I would just follow up with the seasonal hiring. And I see we have students in the audience today. So when you go back to school tomorrow, let all your friends know that there's a lot of seasonal jobs open with the city, and they can just go to the city's website and apply. And now is the time to do it. We were just told before we came down here that there's a lot of positions open. So now's the time to apply for those jobs.
Can I say one more thing?
No,
I
go
forgot.
ahead. Councilor Forback.
Since our darling Regina is missing, Regina and I last Friday had been invited because we were on the city council and we read at McNeil. And I just want to say those fifth graders were fabulous. They sat and were disturbed by I Am the Lorax. And I got to read that because it's my favorite, Dr. Seuss. But just a little comment, I'm telling you, went in there wasn't a kid in the hallway. The teachers were totally friendly, and the kids were darling and attentive and quiet. And I just think sometimes we just don't know what's the good stuff that's going on in our school. So I was happy to have the opportunity to see.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none. Item 11, city manager's presentation.
None this evening.
Item 12, reports from boards and city officers. We have none. I wasn't going to even announce it. Item 13 is a motion to adjourn. Motion by Jacobson, second by Blakely. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we adjourn.